You know what is pretty annoying now in 2020? The fact that so I try to stay off social media. I've been trying, but it's so hard. Having a 13-year-old daughter who impressionable. She um, doesn't understand the reason why I rant and rave about what's going on in the black community. Where a majority of my family and my friends are at. It's sad, being a conservative. I'm trying to short it away. I'm trying to short away the fact that black conservatives in America have seceded, for the most part. That once we became more liberal, more democratic, that's when the black community went into the dumps. So you have over in these black inner cities in America, Chicago, of course, St. Louis, a bunch of different cities. You had over 100 people shot, over 20 people murdered, and um, try to stay off Facebook, but it's hard. You have black people, because the majority of those shootings, actually 98.9% of them were all black people shot or murdered by the hands of their own. But you have people on Facebook who are trying to debunk the point of there's no such thing as black on black crime. Of course, there's no such thing as black on black crime. Just like there's no such thing as white on white crime. It's generally the people you're around you're going to murder and kill if that's what you choose. But the difference is black crime is at such a high rate. It's like 50% of violent crime is from 13% of the country, black. So you have 3 times the amount of black people either being shot or shooting somebody than white, Indian, any other ethnicity. And the crazy thing about it is whenever any of these people get caught, they're usually Democrats in jail. Majority of the black population in jail, Democrats, liberal. F Trump, F Republicans. But the crazy thing is, majority of black people who are educated have good jobs, income, kids being raised properly, meaning graduating high school, no kids until marriage, are usually, 2-parent households, are usually doing solid, and they're usually conservative. And it's sickening that, I go on my Facebook, I see, first off, of course, Snoop Dogg, the biggest, if you want to call anybody a coon of them all, posting photos calling these people black conservatives is offensive. Coons because we think differently than everybody else. And the crazy thing about it is I just can't understand for the life of me that if you speak on your community, black community, if you speak on the fact that we're killing each other at such a high rate that it's laughable to think about police violence on black people when we're literally, like, black people killing each other accounts for like 98% of black deaths or 92%, something high, and then the other is from heart disease and like 1% from white people. And we're sitting here calling black people, like I was a diehard liberal Democrat. I voted for President Obama first term. Then second term, I go and I'm thinking to myself, what did he really do? And then Hillary, Trump debate, I'm sitting outside the debate, watching everybody go crazy. You have Black Lives Matter, you have all these organizations. I'm thinking to myself, what are you people really doing? Like, what are you doing, Black Lives Matter? Like, people who are protesting with them. I'm like, dude, you're literally condoning black culture, violent culture. You're condoning single parent households. You're condoning police, or not condoning, you're fighting against police violence when 98% of us being murdered is by the hands of our own. Like, I don't fear cops. I've never had a scary bone in my body from a cop. Now, of course, in the future, hopefully nothing happens to me, but 2020, this is coming from a guy that lived on the West Coast for 5 years, just moved back to Ohio a year and a half ago. Out there, nobody cares about race. You're just individual. You're just you. You don't go in there talking about I'm black. I'm the only black person in the club. No, you just live your life. Your name, whatever your name is, that's you. But the problem you face is if you're black and you speak out on black crime or you try to change black culture into the positive, you're considered Uncle Tom or a coon. And it's sickening. Like my daughter, it's still work in progress. But it's taking time to get her to understand that having kids at a young age, messing with the so-called wannabe thugs, dudes that like have no future, because you go out and you drop out of high school, you start selling drugs, you get a criminal record, and then you want people to feel sorry for you when you got out of jail after a year or two. You can't find a job, you got a criminal record. It ain't like the whole mistake thing, dude. You got to be adults. You got to be adults. Like, how many years of your life are you gonna blame other people for your stupid mistake to sell drugs or to do anything illegal? Like, that's your stupid mistake. Now I get it, because you're raised in a single household. Majority of these people that end up with criminal records or dropouts. But that's not a fault of the rest of us. That's you. And if you try to correct that behavior, you're, as I said before, you're considered a coon. And it's sickening, because like my daughter, 13, you know, I don't want her with a drug dealer. I don't want her with a wannabe rapper. I don't want her with anything toxic. But it's taking time to get her to understand that that's bad. Like, it's not judging, it's just bad. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna end up pregnant, or you're gonna end up with a criminal record, or shot, maybe murdered. You know, and it's sad that these girls, it takes 2 or 3 kids for them to understand that why give a toxic person a chance. Like, I was toxic at one point, but I was never toxic to the point that I ruined another woman or another person. But the whole point of this is, when enough is enough. When are black people, majority of black people, because majority of black people are liberal, because Democrat, when are they going to understand that if you want real change, you have to do it yourself? If you want people to respect you and actually want to help you, you have to allow change, positive change. Like, the most popular people in our culture are toxic. Literally toxic. Our music, the popular music, toxic. The popular shows, toxic. Like, we're the only group of people who have rappers who threaten to shoot each other openly. If you literally say something to somebody and debate and you feel indifferently, you're threatening to shoot or kill the person. We're the only group of people who will literally kill each other for no reason. You know, and people don't realize there's such thing as black people being mass shooters. You know, there's black people that shoot 3 or 4 people at one time. That's a mass murderer. But of course, because it's happening in the black community, nobody cares. And last thing I'm going to say about this is, Black Lives Matter is a fraud, due to the fact that if Black Lives Matter, they would actually speak out on the black communities. You just had a 6 or 2-year-old kid shot for no reason, sitting in the back of a car. You know, for no reason, shot by a Black Lives Matter protester. And you don't have celebrities involved offering to pay for the funeral. You don't have freaking Black Lives Matter protesting. Now you have these small business owners that are putting up their own money, $25,000, to either the killer, if he turns himself in, for his legal counsel, or to the person that tells. Because they're talking about snitching stupid. Stop with the snitching. You're a witness. Tell, to get that murderer off the street. You know, and it gets to the point that me speaking on that, like this video, because now that I'm about to get back on to YouTube, my ranting, hoping that between my daughter, between my family, between my friends, people I care about, they actually listen and pay attention and look at the statistics, look at the fact that we can change ourselves. You don't need white people, you don't need the government, you don't need nobody to change and make a path for yourself. All you have to do is be open-minded and understand that it's your life. Just live it accordingly.